Welcome to our deep dive today. We're going to be looking at some intriguing sources that hint at a hidden connection between Santa Claus and early Christianity.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
It really is. We're going beyond the usual Christmas stuff to unearth those surprising historical links that might change how you view the holidays.
Christmas is this blend of secular and sacred traditions, and that mix has evolved over time,
Right.
especially when openly practicing Christianity was, well, risky.
So like in those early centuries when Christianity was just taking root.
Exactly.
Can you paint a picture of that time for us? What made it so risky for Christians back then?
Well, during the Roman Empire, Christianity wasn't exactly the most popular or accepted religion.
I can imagine.
For a long time, actually, Christians faced persecution,
Really?
sometimes even death for their beliefs.
Wow.
So they couldn't just build churches or openly celebrate their holidays.
It's like they had to keep their faith under wraps.
Yes, they had to be discreet to find ways to keep their faith alive without attracting too much attention.
That makes sense.
And that's where figures like St. Nicholas, the historical inspiration for Santa Claus, become really interesting.
Okay, tell me more.
He was a 4th century bishop known for his secret acts of generosity, especially towards children.
So even back then, he was like a secret gift giver.
In a way, yes. He becomes this symbol of hope and kindness, operating quietly during a time when openly being Christian was dangerous.
It's like he embodied those Christian values without drawing unwanted attention.
Precisely. It's a sort of coded message of faith and generosity during those difficult times.
Fascinating. It makes you wonder if those early Christians saw St. Nicholas as a protector, especially for children.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Children are incredibly vulnerable during times of upheaval.
Right.
A figure like St. Nicholas bringing joy and gifts in secret would have been a source of immense comfort.
And a way to pass down those Christian values without making a big fuss about it. So we've got St. Nicholas, this historical figure linked to generosity and secrecy. But how does he transform into the Santa Claus we know today? Was it a straightforward evolution or more of a winding road?
It's definitely a winding path,
I bet.
with lots of cultural influences mixing in along the way.
Okay.
But it's really intriguing how some of Santa's characteristics, even the more fantastical ones, might echo those early Christian ideas.
You're talking about Santa knowing who's been naughty or nice, being everywhere at once, delivering all those presents?
Exactly. Now, it's unlikely anyone was consciously trying to make Santa into a god figure.
Right.
But those parallels are pretty fascinating, don't you think?
They really are.
It's almost like a subconscious desire to hold on to those core beliefs, even as Christmas became more secularized. Think about it. Santa's omniscience, knowing everything.
Like he sees you when you're sleeping.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
a bit like God's all-knowing nature.
Mhm.
Santa being everywhere on Christmas Eve, that echoes God's omnipresence.
And of course, the gift giving.
Yes. Which could be seen as a reflection of God's grace and blessings.
It makes you wonder, does this mixing of the secular and the sacred tell us something deeper about human nature? Are we wired to find spiritual significance even in our most lighthearted traditions?
That's a great question. But wouldn't some people say it's a bit of a stretch to see all these connections?
Probably.
Oh, absolutely. Not everyone interprets these symbols in the same way.
That's true.
But that's what makes this whole exploration so intriguing. It challenges us to think critically, to consider different perspectives, even when it comes to something as familiar as Santa Claus.
So we've got Santa's origins potentially tied to this need for discrete faith, and his attributes echoing those of a divine figure. What other surprises are hidden in these sources?
Well, let's look at Christmas carols.
Okay.
Even some of the seemingly secular ones might contain subtle hints of Christian ideas.
Really? Like which ones?
Take Santa Claus is Coming to Town, for
Yeah.
example. You've got lines like, he sees you when you're sleeping, he knows when you're awake.
It does have that someone's always watching feel to it.
Doesn't it? A bit like the Christian belief in God's constant presence.
Yeah, I see that.
And then there's, he knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake.
Right.
That connects directly to moral accountability, a core Christian concept.
It's almost like a playful reminder to be on your best behavior.
Exactly. But some might say we're reading too much into these lyrics.
That they're just fun rhymes for kids.
Precisely. But we can't forget the historical context. For those early Christians, even seemingly innocent phrases could carry layers of meaning.
It was their way to connect with their faith without drawing attention to themselves.
Exactly.
Like those carols became a secret language for their beliefs.
Precisely. And it's remarkable, isn't it? That ingenuity, that ability to find meaning and connection, even in challenging times.
Absolutely. And speaking of unexpected connections, one of the sources suggests a link between Santa's 12 reindeer and...
Wait, don't tell me. The 12 apostles?
You got...
I know, it sounds a bit out there. But hear me out, because there might be something to this symbolism. Think about it. Both groups embody diverse strengths united by a common purpose.
Okay.
The apostles, each with their unique personalities and roles, spreading the Christian message, and the reindeer, each with their own attributes, speed, grace, power, they work together to pull Santa's sleigh and deliver presents.
I like where you're going with this. So if we were playing reindeer apostle matchmaker, who would go with whom?
Well, let's see. Dasher, known for his speed, could be compared to Peter, impulsive and quick to act.
I see the resemblance.
And Dancer, with his grace and energy, might mirror James the Greater, known for his passion.
Okay, I'm following you.
And then there's Prancer, with those elegant movements.
He's a show-off.
Exactly. He could symbolize John, the apostle of love.
I have to admit, that's pretty fun.
Um,
But is there any historical evidence to back up this connection, or is it more of a playful interpretation?
It's definitely more symbolic than historical fact.
But that's what I figured.
But that doesn't mean it's meaningless. These kinds of parallels can help us understand how cultural and religious ideas blend and evolve over time.
So it's not about finding exact matches, but appreciating how different worlds, reindeer and apostles, can intersect in unexpected ways?
Exactly. And it's through those intersections that we discover fascinating insights into our human desire for meaning and connection, even in the most unexpected places.
And that's what makes this deep dive so much fun.
And you know, speaking of these unexpected connections, the source highlights another fascinating parallel: the shared themes of Santa Claus and Jesus.
Wait, seriously, Santa and Jesus, that's a pretty bold comparison. What kind of shared themes are we talking about here?
Well, think about this. Despite their very different origins, one from folklore, the other from religion, both figures embody this powerful message of bringing joy, hope, and especially generosity to the world.
Okay, I see what you're getting at. Santa with his overflowing sack of gifts, and Jesus offering, well, the ultimate gift of grace. Both emphasize giving without any expectation of getting something back.
Exactly. And it goes beyond just the act of giving. It's the spirit behind it that matters. Both Santa and Jesus, in their own unique ways, represent this unconditional love, this willingness to reach out to those who need it most.
So whether you're looking at Christmas from a secular or a religious viewpoint, there's this common thread of generosity and compassion that people seem to connect with universally.
Absolutely. And it speaks to that deeper human desire for connection, for kindness, that goes beyond any cultural or religious boundaries. It's a reminder that no matter what we believe, we share this common humanity.
You know, one thing that strikes me is how both Santa's story and the story of Jesus often focus on those who are overlooked or marginalized in society. Santa brings gifts to all children, regardless of their background, and Jesus frequently reached out to those who were sick, poor, or rejected by society.
That's a really insightful observation. Both figures challenge us to see beyond those superficial differences and recognize the inherent worth of every individual.
It's like they're saying, everyone deserves kindness and compassion, regardless of who they are or where they come from.
Precisely. And that message is especially important during the holiday season, when we're encouraged to think about togetherness and helping those in need.
Speaking of reaching out, the source mentions the phrase, "follow the light," that pops up in Christmas carols. It suggests that even the simple phrase could have a deeper, Christian-inspired meaning.
It's amazing how even the smallest phrases can carry so many layers of meaning, right? While "follow the light" could be interpreted as a general message of hope, for those who know Christian teachings, it might also bring to mind the image of Christ as the light of the world.
So for those early Christians, those words could have been a quiet way to affirm their faith when they couldn't express it openly.
Exactly. It shows their resilience, their creativity in finding ways to stay connected to their spirituality, even under difficult circumstances.
You know, all this talk about hidden meanings makes me wonder if there are other Christmas traditions or symbols that we might be missing. Are there any other examples from the source that we haven't talked about yet?
You're right. There's always more to uncover. Remember how we were having fun matching Santa's reindeer with the 12 apostles earlier?
Yeah, that was fun.
Well, the source takes that idea a step further. and suggests that each reindeer could symbolize specific virtues that align with the Christian message.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more. What kind of virtues are we talking about here, and how do they connect to the reindeer?
For instance, the source suggests that the reindeer's speed could symbolize how quickly goodwill and kindness should be spread. Just like Santa delivers those presents all over the world in a flash, we should also be quick to share our compassion and generosity with the people around us.
That's a really beautiful way to look at it. It makes you think about how we can actually live out those virtues in our own lives, not just during the holidays, but all year round.
Exactly. And then there's the reindeer's grace, which can be seen as a symbol of approaching others with kindness and understanding, just like the reindeer move so elegantly and with poise.
I love that. It's a good reminder to treat everyone with respect and dignity, no matter how different they might seem.
Precisely. And what about the reindeer's power? What symbolic meaning could that have?
If we're going with this virtue theme, maybe the reindeer strength could represent resilience when we face tough times, that ability to overcome obstacles and stick to what we believe in.
That's a brilliant connection. It speaks to the inner strength we need to deal with life's ups and downs and stay true to our values, just like those apostles faced persecution for what they believed. And the reindeer, they pushed through storms and long journeys to get those gifts delivered.
Okay, I have to ask, what about Rudolph? Where does he fit into this whole virtue idea? He's the odd one out with that shiny red nose.
Ah, Rudolph. That's where things get really interesting. The source suggests that Rudolph, with that unique feature that sets him apart, could actually symbolize acceptance and inclusion. At first he's kind of left out because he's different, but in the end, it's that difference that makes him so important to the team.
It's a powerful reminder that our differences, those things that make us stand out, can be our greatest strengths.
Exactly. And it goes back to what we were talking about earlier, the importance of embracing diversity and recognizing the value in every person, just like Rudolph.
This whole exploration of reindeer virtues has been really eye-opening. It's amazing how these simple symbols can have such deep meanings when we dig a little deeper.
It shows the power of storytelling and symbolism, how they can carry these complex ideas and values from one generation to the next. And it reminds us that even in the most lighthearted traditions, there are layers of meaning waiting to be discovered.
So it's not just about reindeer and sleighs, but about those deeper messages they carry, about kindness, resilience, and being inclusive.
Precisely. And those messages are just as important today as they were all those centuries ago.
Wow, we've uncovered so much about these simple holiday traditions. Who knew Santa Claus could be such a fascinating way to explore history, culture, and even our own beliefs?
It's true. It really speaks to that human need to find meaning, to connect with something bigger than ourselves.
One thing that's really struck me throughout this whole deep dive is how these connections between Santa Claus and early Christianity, whether they were intentional or not, seem to touch on something deeper.
Yeah.
It's like we're drawn to finding those hints of faith and spirituality, even in the most unexpected places.
That's a really good point. Makes you wonder if those subtle nods to faith, those hidden meanings, are a way of fulfilling a spiritual need that's still there, even in our increasingly secular world.
Almost like those early Christians who had to practice their faith in secret, passed down this impulse to find meaning and connection in subtle ways, an impulse that still resonates with us today.
And it's not just limited to Christmas, is it? Think about all the other traditions and symbols we see every day. How many of them might have unexpected layers of meaning just waiting to be discovered?
This whole deep dive has been like a crash course in symbolism and cultural history. It's made me realize how much we miss in the everyday things we take for granted.
It's true. That's the beauty of curiosity and exploration. It opens our eyes to new ways of seeing things and challenges us to look beyond the surface.
You've definitely given us a lot to think about, not just this Christmas, but as we continue to explore the world around us. What's one last thought you want to leave our listeners with? Something to ponder as they're enjoying all the festivities.
Maybe this. As you're spending time with loved ones, exchanging gifts, singing those familiar carols, take a moment to appreciate those layers of meaning woven into these traditions.
Yeah.
Whether it's Santa's generosity, the symbolism of the reindeer, or that message of hope in those timeless songs. There's a richness and depth there that we often miss. And who knows, maybe you'll even find your own hidden connections and interpretations along the way.
That's a great thought to end on. So to all our listeners out there, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and never lose that curiosity. Happy holidays, everyone. And remember, there's always more to discover beneath the surface.